Hey, what's going on, family? This is Michael Cabradilla right here in San Diego, California. Thank you for tuning back in. This is the book that we have been reading. It's 100 Simple Secrets to Happy People, what scientists have learned and how you can use it. We've been trying to figure out, what do these happy people really do, right? So remember, people typically create habits, which therefore create results, and those particular results can be happiness. And why not be happier for our families, for our colleagues, our business professionals that we work with, and our kids, and whoever it is that we come across into our community. So we're going to go ahead and read this chapter, which is less than 2 pages, share some insights, and maybe pose a question or two. When we would love for you to continue with the conversation. Let us know what you think in the comments. So, chapter 64, keep a pen and paper handy. People often feel frustrated that they can't remember a good idea they had last week or an interesting dream they had last night. Those who keep a notebook feel like they are more in control and are missing less. Emily is an aspiring writer and is always writing things down. Even when she can't find paper, she scrambles to find envelopes, napkins, a piece of cardboard, anything that she can use to write down her thoughts. I have some note sections in my phone that I go to also. Does she do this because she is a particularly forgetful person? No, it is because she is both realistic enough and disciplined enough to know that human beings run across too many ideas in a day to remember all of them or even most of them. Good ideas come floating into our heads and will just as easily float right out. Writers who acknowledge this, they carry around a notebook so that the best of those ideas make it to paper. You don't have to be a writer, however, to have good ideas floating through you. Keep a notebook and pen handy, and you will be able to hold on to these fleeting thoughts. While purposeful activity contributes to happiness, feelings of lost thoughts and opportunities contribute to an unhealthy frustration. People who feel like their best ideas escape them are 37% less likely to feel content than people who do not. Wow, let me read that last part again. People who feel like their best ideas escape them are 37% less likely to feel content than people who do not. Wow, I love this. So there are a couple things that I think of. So I remember years ago when we started in business, one of the first things that I learned was a philosophy that you always want to have a notebook and a pen with you, right? And they said something like, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but they said, I would rather trust a short pencil than a long-term memory or something like that. So meaning that if I have a pencil or a pen with me and I'm able to take notes, I can do it that way, right? And it's so interesting because I've been in business seminars, personal development seminars, trainings, and all those types of things. And I always want to make sure that I have a notebook with me. Actually, I have a notebook with me here in the car right now. It's one of these spiral notebooks, but I typically have a journal. When I'm at some of the larger events that I go to. And I remember years ago, it was so interesting because there's a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, Rohn. If you haven't heard him, if you haven't listened to some of his stuff, I highly encourage it. And I remember listening to one of his audio programs, and he was talking about investing and purchasing a journal, right? And in the audio, he was talking about how he had invested $50, I want to say, or $30 or whatever the amount was, into a journal, and it was blank. And someone had asked them the question like, why would you pay 30, 40, 50 bucks? I'm just throwing these numbers out there now, for a blank book. And he said something like, so that I can find more than 30, 40, $50 worth of ideas to put into it. And Jim Rohn talked about how private a lot of his journals were, and those journals were things that he passed down to his children and to his grandchildren. And I have a journal at home, and it's for ideas that I want to pass down to our kids. So whenever I hear of a good idea, or like a philosophy, or even a quote, if I remember, I'll put it in that journal. And in the beginning of the journal, it says, "To our children," and I wrote a note in there. And they're just, things that I've heard, right? Like Oprah Winfrey, I heard a quote from her, and I'm probably going to butcher the quote, but it said something like, "You can have everything in this world that you have the courage to ask for," or something like that. And it's awesome. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, this is powerful. Let me put it in the journal. Whenever I hear a powerful quote or something that resonates with me, I tend to write it down. If I'm on a Zoom call or Zoom meeting, I have my notepad open, and I'm typing as I'm listening because I want to not miss anything. So yeah, I'm definitely a person who resonates with this particular chapter. So how about you? Are you the person who carries around a notebook? Are you the person who has a pen? Do you take notes? How do you take notes? I had a vivid dream last night. I didn't take note of it, but when I woke up, I was like, wow, that was an interesting dream. Something about pancakes. So anyways, put your comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this particular chapter where it says grab a notepad or grab a pen? Make sure that you have it handy. All right, take care. God bless you. We'll see you on the next video.